Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share with you today some series that I think are absolutely binge worthy. So they are going to span a variety of genres and age kind of groups, but they are definitely books that I have found to be really compelling, and I think if you have the opportunity, you would want to read these back to back to back. So the first one is kind of a little odd because it's part of an overarching fantasy arc and it's in the middle of that. Now you can, so I'm told, read these as kind of a standalone series. I don't think everything would make sense if you did it that way, but out of all of the books in Robin Hobb's Realm of the Elderlings series, I think that the Rainwild Chronicles are the most binge-worthy. So I can't say that I didn't binge almost every one of the trilogies, but this, which is actually a quartet, is the one that I kept picking up and picking up and picking up as soon as I would put the next one down, because there's so much interesting information that happens in here. One of my favorite parts of the whole overarching series is the information about the Elderlings. And this is where we start to really get down to who the Elderlings were and find out a lot of things, answer a lot of questions that we've had, especially since the Live Ship Traders series, trilogy. So this is one of those series that I just could not put down, and I really want to go back and read them again, all four in a row, because there was just so much really exciting information and just a lot of exciting things happening in these four books that I'm glad that I binged them. The next one will come as no surprise to anybody who's watched my channel in the last 6 months, and that is the Behind the Throne series by KB Wagers. Oh my gosh, this is one of the most exciting and incredible series I've read in a long time. So this is basically a sci-fi series about a princess turned gun runner who is dragged back to her home planet very much against her will to assume her role as the heir to the Andronin throne. And there is so much just humor, badassery, really strong female characters, amazing relationships, tons of quips and one-liners in this that I feel like this is something that so many people, even if you're not a sci-fi fan, would really enjoy. I literally recommend this to everyone. Everybody who's like, I need to find something that I'm really gonna get into, and I'm like, read the Andronin War series every time. And I read the first two back to back and then had to wait for the third one, which I am currently reading. By the time this video is up, I will have finished it. But they're amazing, and if you are an audiobook listener at all, the audiobooks for these are phenomenal, so I would definitely recommend those as well. So then we move on to a series that I read actually over quite a number of years, but whenever I would forget about the series and then come back to it and there were multiple books out that I hadn't gotten to, I would read them back to back because it's such a fun series. You can read them basically as standalones, but I think you get more if you read the series 1 through, I think there's 12 of them, to finish out the series. And that is the Pink Carnation series by Lauren Willig. These are so much fun. They're basically spy novels. These are just this really fun, exciting, light and fluffy romp. There always is a romance. They are historical romance books, and you have basically this thread tying them all together of this Harvard researcher who is researching basically floral named spies, and it's sort of the lure of the Pink Carnation and who is the Pink Carnation and all the different villains that go like through the different books have flower names as well, and it is so fun and lighthearted and just a blast to read. So if you're looking for especially some kind of summer beach read, I know we're in the holidays, but this is a really good one. And I think if you have somebody who likes to read kind of romancy books, but with a little bit more to it, this would be a great present for them because these are fantastic and they would get really into them and probably end up binging the whole series, which is now officially out and complete. And then I'm gonna go back to YA again, and that is the Winter's Curse series. Now I know that this one actually gets a little bit of a mixed review, but I absolutely loved these. They are set in kind of this war-torn land, and the main girl, Kestrel, is the daughter of the general, and it follows how she ends up, so not a spoiler, I think it says it in the blurb, but she ends up buying a person as basically her slave, and it is immediate regret for her because she doesn't know why she did it. She doesn't believe in owning humans, and it is an interesting relationship that develops between the two of them that spurs the books forward. And again, this was a series where I read the first two immediately back to back, and then I read the third one some months later. I wish I could have read them all three back to back because I think I would have really enjoyed the third one even more than I did. They are fast-paced, they're fun, there is a romance in there, there is a lot of political intrigue and strategy and, you know, a little bit of frou-frou-ness and a little bit of nitty-gritty. So I really enjoyed these. I think they're definitely one of the standout YA trilogies that I have read. And the last one is, again, a little bit strange. I'm gonna end on a strange one, which is a book that most people don't necessarily think of as a part of a series. And that is The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. So The Three Musketeers is actually part of a, I want to say it's a trilogy, but in the States we have it as like a quartet, because the third book is broken up into two books because otherwise it's huge. So this is part of the D'Artagnan romances, which I just have such a soft spot in my heart for. It took me a while to read them because there's a lot to it. So it's a lot of pages to read basically, but you have the Three Musketeers, which I think most people know the story of. It's Athos, Porthos, Aramis, and D'Artagnan, so there are four of them, and it's the adventures they get up to save their kingdom and all of these great, wonderful things. The banter between the four of them is amazing and really makes the books. And then you go into 20 years later. Is it 20 years later? Then you go from this one to 20 years after, and it's 20 years after and kind of where they each are and the adventures they get up to. You then go on to Louise de Valery and the Viscount de Bragelonne, which is the one that is actually one book but split into two in the States. That is basically, again, further down the road. You meet characters that, new characters, you learn their ties to each of the four musketeers, and then we go on to The Man in the Iron Mask, which is the other one a lot of people read, which is like the culmination of the relationship and the adventures of the musketeers. And all of them are so good, and I feel like if you binge them, you get more out of it because you see the progression of their lives from the point of becoming the three musketeers or four musketeers to where they ultimately end and how they each land where they do in that journey. And it was phenomenal. I read them pretty close together and I just loved them. I think a lot of people don't read the two in the middle, and you should because they're so much fun. So that is it. Those are the series that I think are absolutely binge worthy. I would love to hear if you've read any of these or if you have series that you think are definitely binge worthy series. I love to find new ones that I can just get sucked into and read them all straight away. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I can't wait to chat in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye!